Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And Warren Gatland has just named his side for the third and final test, and as expected has made a lot of changes with just three players keeping their place in the back line, two new players in the front row as well. Very, very interesting as well. The bench selection, somebody like Owen Farrell has missed out completely. So, you know, with the odds against the Lions in many ways, Gatland has decided to wield the axe as he normally does on the back of a defeat. He isn't somebody that takes defeat very well in terms of his team selection. He's often very quick to make quite a few changes. And Adam Jones actually said this in his post-match presser, where he says that he's sure that Warren Gatland will make changes because, you know, he doesn't like giving players who lost another opportunity, actually, which is an interesting coaching style. But before we go to the teams themselves, please do smash like on the video and subscribe to the channel as well. Now, in terms of the teams, this is how the Lions will line up on the weekend. First things first, two new players in the front row as Wyn Jones comes back from injury and partners Ken Owens in the front row. Tyke Furlong continues there. Mario Trojan and Wyn Jones continue the lock pairing. It's also an unchanged loose trio in Courtney Laws, Tom Curry and Jack Conan. But it's the back line where we start to see quite a few changes. Addy Price is back in the starting lineup after missing out last weekend to Conor Murray, and I think that it's quite interesting the fact that they backed Conor Murray, went to a kicking game, but it didn't really work for the Lions this time. And as a result, Addy Price has been brought straight back into the starting lineup, which I think is the right decision. I think he has been the form scrum off throughout the tour and deserves to have the opportunity. So Conor Murray has dropped to the bench. Julian van der Merwe continues at the wing, which is quite an interesting one. A lot of people are saying that they reckon we might have seen our all-new front, all-new back three rather. But Julian van der Merwe has kept his spot. But Bundy Aki comes straight into the starting lineup the first time he has started a test. And he becomes a test line now as a result. He hasn't even been on the bench in the previous ones. He comes straight into the starting lineup. And I think that's just a case of matching brute force with brute force. Damien Delendi is proving to be a handful for the Lions. And, you know, the Lions trying to find somebody to get over the advantage line. And so they've gone with Bundy Aki, who's very aggressive, very hard-hitting, quite a lot of power from the Irish centre. And they're partnering him with Robbie Henshaw, I thought actually was pretty good last weekend. So he keeps his spot in the lineup. But then Josh Adams, the name that everybody can't understand why he hasn't been involved more, he was scoring tries for fun as the tour began and then couldn't get a look in when it came to the test. He comes in place of Anthony Watson. Also a new fullback, as Stuart Hogg drops out of the 23 and Liam Williams comes in. You know, we thought that Liam Williams would be in, whether it was going to be interesting to see if he was going to go to the fullback or they're going to play him on the wing maybe and try and really use his high ball ability. But there is nobody better in World Rugby under the high ball than Liam Williams. So it's no surprise that he does come into the starting lineup there. And on the bench, Cowan Dickey, Vinipola and Sinclair. Sinclair still needs to hear about his sighting, so he might not actually make the final bench for this weekend, depending on how the outcome of his disciplinary going. But two new forwards in Adam Beard and Sam Simmons. Really, really impressed with Adam Beard this tour. And I think it's a sign of how, you know, somebody who can come onto a tour who wasn't supposed to be there. He was actually called in for Alan Wyn Jones, and he went on to be really, really impressive, and he will get test capped, you know. So really congratulations to him. And then Sam Simmons, somebody who a lot of people thought they would see more of. But what's quite interesting is no Hamish Watson. I mean, somebody who was the Six Nations player of the season, somebody who people were touting as one of the major names to watch, and he managed just 20 minutes off the bench in the first test. So Sam Simmons will get a chance to try and inject a bit of pace into the game when he comes off the bench. You got to feel sorry for somebody like Tyke Burton, who I thought has been pretty good this tour, and yet doesn't get a nod. And then the backs are Conor Murray, and then Finn Russell comes in as well. Eddie Daly continues on the bench, and I think that Finn Russell shout, you know, sort of shows you Finn Russell, Sam Simmons, even Adam Beard to a certain degree. They are going with players who can come on and inject a bit of pace into the game. You know, some really good handling in Finn Russell, somebody who's quite creative, somebody who can try and turn a game on its head. So I think that what we saw last weekend was a case of the Lions not being able to adapt, not being able to change their plans after being under siege from the Springboks. And so what they've done now is they put players on the bench who can try and make a difference. You can try and create a spark. You know, Sam Simmons and Finn Russell are just those type of players. They are players who can sort of create a spark from anywhere, anything on the field. So it's a very, very interesting team selection there from Alan Wyn Jones. Obviously, we wait to see what will happen with Kyle Sinclair. But please do smash a like on the video, subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think of the team down below. I think it's a pretty solid team. I think it's quite some big calls in the back line. Josh Adams, Liam Williams, not so much, but I think Bundy Aki is a very, very interesting call. I think he will be under quite a lot of pressure this weekend to try and sort of snuff out and nullify that Damien Delendi threat which has been so effective. And I think quite interesting that the loose trio is completely unchanged, which I would have done as well. I think that Courtney Lawes, Tom Curry, and Jack Conan have been pretty solid. Maybe a Hamish Watson instead of Tom Curry, but I think Courtney Lawes and Jack Conan in particular have been very consistent performers. So it's an interesting selection from Warren Gatland. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Smash like the video, as I said. The Springbok announcement will be in about an hour's time, so we'll have that out as well. And it will be live tonight as we talk about these selections and what they might mean for the game this weekend. We still wait to see if Carl Sinck will be involved. We still wait to see if Rassie Erasmus might not even be allowed in the stadium, depending on when his disciplinary hearing is. He has been charged with World Rugby. He will face a disciplinary hearing on the basis of potential misconduct. So we did a video on that yesterday if you want to go and check it out, and we'll have more information when we get it. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Stephen, and I'll chat to you guys soon.